Oh, welcome to Current Exposure. We're doing a special today about Delaney Hall. We're going to talk about the whole situation, how it started, how it's unfolding. And some people are for it, some people are not. A lot of people from out of town are drawn to Delaney Hall for whatever reason, if they're for it or against it. But yeah, we're gonna have, hold on, let's change the title up here. Delaney Hall. Delaney Hall. This is like SmackDown 2. No, Friday, Delaney Hall Raw. That's what this is. Delaney Hall Raw. They took it to the next level. Current exposure. I did invite people to come on to the live stream. One person confirmed and another person didn't confirm, but I invited them on to share their viewpoints on Delaney Hall and their position. Hello, Yolanda Snowden. Good evening to you as well. Get into the comments if you all have questions or comments, but we need to have this discussion because I don't like the whole mission and their message at Delaney Hall has been completely lost. Completely. It was just, like I said, I invited people on to share their viewpoints. And my viewpoint, I do have one, and I think I've been somewhat clear about it. If you follow my page and you've seen, I can't say I'm against the people protesting because they feel like they've been wrong, but the way that they're behaving and how out of control they have gotten, I am not for that. I am not condoning it, especially when you're in someone else's city. And also when there are innocent people right across the parking lot next door, right across the parking lot, who are enduring hellacious conditions, including psychological trauma. And I can speak from a personal point of view, a personal one. Right, the Green Monster. The Green Monster. If we're all for liberating all people, how come that was just left to the side? Nobody had anything to say about that. Nobody had any First Amendment rights that they wanted to exercise about the conditions that people face there. And remember, the guy who had the microwave slammed on his head. Remember that? Also, what else? Right. Also, remember, the people who are in Delaney Hall were in the Green Monster. And they took them out of the Green Monster because they had pictures and videos of the food and the clothes. And I can vouch for the clothes. The clothes, they give you extra, extra large clothes where none of the underclothes fit at all. But like I said, there was no desire to liberate the innocent people over in the Green Monster. And I like, my experience with the Green Monster was terrible. Okay. And the same food that they were complaining about and saying that it was disgusting, rotten and all that other kind of stuff, is the same food that the people who are still in the Green Monster, they're still eating that. The people in the Green Monster are still eating that same food. And yeah, there's no respect for the dietary needs of the Black people that's locked up in there. Yolanda Snowden says, yep, same situation, different locations. Where's the uproar? Right. So we have selective protesting.
Hey, she came live. Look at that.
What's up? Yeah. Welcome.
Got mine. Welcome. Do you got yours?
Yes, I have mine. Tina Jean says she was in there. It's a hellhole. I know,
it is
Tina.
A hellhole. I used to drop people.
The Green Monster.
Yeah, it's a hellhole.
Exactly. So
that's what smell to it. It got a smell to it. That
it's a horrific psychological thriller. Okay, like it's the worst scary movie that you can actually live going through there. And as an innocent person who does not belong in there,
yeah,
it can mess you up mentally. So, and I think across the street, they have I seen a field outside, all that kind of good stuff. But hey, Keisha, what's going on? Yolanda Snowden says she was in there. It's a hellhole. It lives up to its name. Yeah, it definitely does. Because when my experience, I said, oh my gosh, now I know why they call it the Green Monster. It is the Green Monster. You're gonna really get a Green Monster experience. I mean, why not put people in Delaney Hall, whole innocent people in Delaney Hall? If we're all innocent until proven guilty. See, you got the innocent people who are innocent until proven guilty and get proven innocent. Then you have the actual guilty people that are innocent until proven guilty too. How do you have all those different characters in the same space? It's traumatizing. I could tell you what those ladies were in there doing. They had a whole prison jail culture. That was traumatic too, because imagine you gotta be in a jail gang and you don't want to be in a jail gang. You're trying to get out of there, and their agenda is
so. Yeah, even with that, let's talk about the protests, right? If we're gonna say, hey, right, if every person there that was protesting is gonna say every person possesses the inherent dignity and deserves protection from harm, the first part of the question is that principle universal, right? Or does it become conditional when the individual in question is employed by the institution that they employ? Or oppose. When I'm talking about the ICE agents, right? I'm talking about the facility workers, the maintenance workers, the cooks that are there, and everybody's there. Because if we're going to say that, well, treat people humane, but yet again, you promote the act, or you can not just promote, but you engage in an act of violence.
Right.
At what point does your argument stand to state that you are, you know, how do I say it? You are truly, right, a person that believes in the form of humanity the way that you say you believe it in.
Hypocrisy.
Specifically, fighting for people's rights while creating workplace hazards for others. How is that fighting for rights, right? Fighting for humanity, and then once again, when you attack these agents, or you attack people, you disrupt. And specifically, let's talk about Delaney Hall, since it sits on Delancey Street, from my understanding.
It's right? On Doremus
Avenue. And then I know Delancey by another for Newark reasons. And it sits on Doremus, and it's literally a commercial hub for cars to get to and from, for supply chain management and logistics globally because it has not only the implications for the airport, but also for the um, also for the port, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at what point we see that now we're disrupting that. If I'm talking about the protesters are disrupting that, how is that affecting the very community? Because a lot of that comes to Newark. A lot of those trucks comes, they get the food, shop right. We have our neighborhood Walmart that's probably in Kearney. How is that affecting Newarkers from your perspective, Shakima?
Well, you can see if we zoom in on the map, you can see the actual trucks moving in and out of
Mm-hmm.
the area. It's a heavily used route by trucks, as you can see. See another truck, we zoom in. Even across the street from the Green Monster, we have a gas station and a truck stop.
Yep.
See it zooming in on the truck stop. These are people who work. They work here. They work in
Mm-hmm.
the area,
Yeah.
and they need to move. It's actually, like you said, it's a hub for
Mm-hmm.
moving things in and out of the area. So they may come here, but the shipment may get traded off so that it can go to Edison
Yeah.
or down to South Jersey.
So by virtue of them protesting and creating civil unrest, they pretty much disrupted the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, they
That's pretty
did.
much what it is, right? And so let you guys know who don't know, Essex County Jail is the largest county jail within the East Coast. It houses just not Essex County inmates. It houses inmates from Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland area, and New York area for the federal charges. A lot of that, a lot of the inmates do go there. And to see the level of violence, 67 people were arrested, or only two people, right? Only two people were from Newark. It really shows of the selected outrage that happens and how it festers very fast, right? Because the very privileged, and people understand they're talking about a lot of these protesters were white, middle class people, right? Not even from the hood,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the very privilege of them going to the decision to go protest and to physically attack ICE agents reflected the very privilege that they have as white protesters. So at what point do you understand that regardless, even in your fight, it is still has some form of a white privilege or a privilege to it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you really think about it, these people are going out fighting federal agents. Now, there is not a single person that I know that comes from the hood that we will fight federal agents, biting
Right.
people, making
Right.
phones,
It's not.
throwing rocks.
It's
No,
not even
yeah,
smart. It's
it's
not
not.
even smart. It's gonna cause the police to have an aggressive response because
Exactly.
why are you throwing rocks? Is somebody supposed to allow themselves to get hit with a rock and say, "Oh, it's just a rock"?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? It starts with a rock and then it's a brick and then it's something else if you don't nip it in the bud.
Yeah, and it's really just shocking to me. It's really shocking to me that that this is happening. It's really shocking that let me just read this comment from Felicia. It says, why can't they have an independent inspector go in and inspect?
Right.
Well,
I think we need
it's
pictures
hard
too.
because it's with the federal government and with Homeland Security. So Homeland can play this whole game of national security. That's why people can't come in and things like that. They
Okay.
can allow Congress to come in because Congress can have several avenues to say that why they got to come in, whether it's for allocating resources and governmental funding, right? Understanding why is this happening the way it is? Because once again, if Congress approves every single thing, so and there may be clauses and things like that, but Congress ultimately has to say so over federal things. So they have a right to go in and to inspect. and they have to justify it in a way like we're inspecting why we're inspecting, or we're inspecting due to allocation of resources and funds, right? It says
Mm-hmm.
they say Black Lives Matter, but does it really matter here? I don't think so, right? I think
Yep.
that they're once again, these people have come over and they have known criminal histories or violence, or they have been found guilty of history of violence, some of which a significant amount of violence in their other countries, some which are tied to murders, manslaughter charges in their home countries. Some even have warrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, so I think that the Homeland Security is doing the best they can with what they have, because once again, solely it's not the ICE agents, it's the president of the United States who sets the tone. So when the president of the United States says, "Hey, this is the criteria," if everybody's going to go, everybody's going to go. We can't fight and bite every ICE agent, just like you can't fight and bite every police
And that
officer,
too,
just like you
right?
can't fight and bite every New Jersey state trooper or anybody if they give you a ticket, right?
Why?
So
Why
we
are
can't
they
do
bite?
that stuff.
Right, the biting and setting things on fire.
They don't
That
even
was
live
just
here.
too much.
They
That
don't
was too
even live
much.
here.
And let's also not forget that Delaney Hall was transitional housing, or
Yeah.
known as a halfway house, and drug rehabilitation center before it became an ICE detention facility, and it was operated by the same company.
Yeah.
And also, let's talk about how the inmates, people who were incarcerated at the Green Monster, transitioned across the street so that they could be reacclimated back into society and not just dumped straight back onto the streets
Mm-hmm.
and ending right back up in the Green Monster,
Mm-hmm.
because we know there's no rehabilitation going on in there. And if your mind isn't mentally prepared for you to be outside amongst the population again, you're going to be right back in there. Or you're going to have a mental meltdown because so much has changed and the world is going too fast. You're going to have that was the whole point of it being a halfway house. And also to prepare the formerly incarcerated with getting employment, having a steady address until they've worked these hours consistently so that they can be reintegrated back into the population.
Exactly.
So now that was taken away. And then the drug rehabilitation, that was taken away. And the state did not renew the contracts. That's where they start cutting from. When
Mm-hmm.
the budget had to be balanced, that's where the cuts were made. And that company, Geo, said, well, I'm not going to sit here and just lose money.
Mm-hmm.
And they accepted the contract from the federal government to actually run and operate an ICE facility. Now, all the Newark people, too, who have been in Delaney Hall, let us know. Let us know the difference between Delaney Hall and the Green Monster.
Right.
Let us know. All right? Let us
Mm-hmm.
know. And you know what? I want to go back to a comment from Jimmy McCoy. He said, in regards to Delaney Hall, first let's take a look at what is being said. Refusing to eat does not equate to not being fed.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. McCoy.
Then who and what pictures are being sent and by who?
Yeah, and not only with that, to add on to that question, that was great, Mr.
Yeah.
McCoy.
What
We
are the
appreciate
actual
you.
facts? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, because not only what are the actual facts around it, but a hunger strike for what treatment? Where's this
Right.
documented treatment? Because a lot of this treatment hasn't been brought up in federal court. When it goes to the ICE and immigration court or immigration lawyers, where is the civil rights lawyers or the criminal defense attorneys calling for this to end within federal court? Where are these federal court people at? right? What are these federal defense attorneys doing? These immigration attorneys doing? I know some of them are flooded with cases, right?
Right.
But
Right.
at what point, where are you sounding an alarm? At the end of the day, you have people who come here who have known that they came here illegally. Just like we passed legislation for tickets, just like we can't pass a school bus, right? You can't reckless drive. You can't do certain things. There are certain things that you just can't do. And it's not about, oh, well, what about the humanity in it? Well, which is fine. We all agree there's some form of humanity, but you
Right.
also have to have, um, you
You know what
know,
I was told when I had a dietary need? I needed almond milk or soy milk.
mhm,
I was told you're in jail. We don't have that. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't drink the milk. Well,
mhm,
drink water and the juice. And I'm like, oh wow. So I just see like the disparity.
mhm.
You want one group of people to suck it up, and then when another group endures the same thing that you're telling the other group to just suck it up,
Mm-hmm.
now everyone's being inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's being compassionate enough. And it's like, I get it, but if we're going to have meet the dietary needs of one group, we need to meet the dietary needs of all.
Yep.
If we're going to tell one group is jail, suck it up, then that needs to apply across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And right now we're seeing too a lot of black people being exonerated, being released from prisons and jails, and they were innocent the whole time.
Yep. County jails. Once again, county pretrial and detainment centers. That's pretty much what it is. It's pretrial detainment.
So, and those people can't get their time back. I don't care how much amount of money you give somebody. You cannot undo the psychological damage.
Yep.
You cannot undo that. In jail, I don't want to even know what prison is like, but I know jail
You
is
got it.
wild.
And
It's
and and technically, the ICE detention facilities are not considered jail. They're considered temporary holding facilities. It may be operated like some, but it is temporary. From my
right.
understanding, they have a full soccer course in there. They had food, they had everything like that. And there was a congressman that went in there and said the food smelled good. Everything was pretty good.
Yeah.
Choosing not to eat is one thing. And a lot of these tactics are to get people outside the facility, right? It's just to get out. It's just to leave, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
like everybody tries to get out of jail,
They're
right?
being
There's
but
really no real substance to what they're doing because the fact of the matter is you're an undocumented migrant in another country. Now, if I was to overstay my visa in Europe, I would probably be detained and probably be asked to leave. If I was to overstay my visa or my anything like that within Canada, I will be asked to leave, apprehended or arrested, and asked to leave. If the same thing, like for plenty of other countries, specifically some of the countries that, like Venezuela, well, not Venezuela, because that's pretty much half the country, but like Brazil or
mm,
Portugal and things like that. A lot of these
mm-hmm.
Spanish-speaking countries, they actually would probably take me into custody and leave. So it has a lot much more freedom than the Green Monster. Once again, it's not a pretrial detainee. You're not charged with the crime. You're pretty much being waited to get back to your host country. And they have a lot much more freedom than the average jail. The jail is ran with, you're going to eat when I tell you to eat, you're going to do what I tell you to do, and things like that. The
They're,
Delaney
they're
Hall
in,
is just,
they're in a halfway house. They're in a halfway house. They're
yeah,
not even in a jail over there.
and it's not designed to be a jail.
Exactly, because it was made for transitional housing. So I'm quite sure they don't have a setup like in the Green Monster where the bathroom is in the room
Yep.
and just out in the open.
Yep.
You know, so unfortunately, hold on. Teresa Coleman says every resident there gets commissary, even the ones who can't pay for it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And Yolanda Snowden said, she was in a green monster. I'm sorry, she did programming, went outside at Delaney Hall, and the green monster is not like that at all. Delaney Hall is more cleaner. Food was way better. Um, and hold on, we got another situation. Let's see, another comment. Tina says, when I worked for the city some years ago, they had the transitional program where you would come from something like this and you can come to the city and you can earn some money so that you would not have to go back into the green monster. I don't know if that still exists today. I'm not sure if it exists either.
It doesn't. It doesn't exist. It does not under this administration. I don't believe it exists.
All right, let's see. I got one more. I had one more comment. Hold on. About this is a good one from George. George says, "Why isn't there a fight for tenants living in slumlord conditions? Many buildings have fallen ceilings, mold, mice, roaches, no hot water in the winter, no heat." Um so yeah, that's a good question because many of the residents were saying, what about the issues that we have in Newark that have not been addressed or even given the necessary attention? It's like all support to Delaney Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And some residents, they're not happy about that. Now I want to talk about,
It's an.
oh yeah, Talbot Hall on Freelaheisen, down Freelaheisen Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that one. That one is not like the green monster either. And
Mm-hmm.
there's the other one. What's the one off of 1 and 9? Is that Kentop?
I don't know.
I think,
It's
yeah.
one that's on free. That's the one that's on Freelaheisen. I'm only familiar with the one on Freelaheisen.
Wait, Kentuck is on Freelaheisen. It's another one. I think that is
It's
Talbot
two. It's
Hall.
two.
Wait,
It's
Talbot
two of
Hall
them.
is off of
It's
1 and
two.
9, right? Two?
It's two. It's two on Freelaheisen because there's one further. I forgot that street name, but it's further near the train tracks, right? And then there's one where you get off. You get off, and it's right behind or right adjacent to the firehouse.
Right.
So it was two.
Right.
It was one there, and it was a one further down.
Right. Um, let's see. We got some. Let's see. Who else? Oh, it's 3 on Freelaheisen.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's three.
3. So, but yeah, I invited the people on that have another viewpoint that were out there, um and they decided they didn't want to come on. They changed their minds. Well, one didn't really confirm. It was up in the air, but one lady, she confirmed and she was all excited. And then after we made, let me see, I made the connection with her on Friday. So after Sunday, I think Sunday was when they were getting locked up, right? Where they shut pretty much. Okay. So Sunday, yeah, after Sunday, she changed her mind. And the other person said they didn't want to come on. So I did invite people who I think are of sound mind and would provide a mature conversation, because that's important. All the screaming and yelling and nonsense. We just wanted to have a conversation to understand what was the mission, why they felt like they needed to do this, why they were at Delaney Hall, what proof did they have of
Besides a
the
hunger strike.
horrible conditions. Because
At the end of the day, let's not sit here and just be like, oh, it's a hunger strike. the end of the day, you committed a crime by unlawful entry into the United States. That's just it is what it is. It just is what it is. It is
Right.
what it is.
Absolutely. Felicia says, "Stinky man, Stinky man, put Stinky man on."
What's this man?
Stinky man, the baby.
Oh, okay.
He's so adorable. All right, but also I think this was a lesson of people need to do their research.
Yeah.
People need to
They're
do
not
their
even locked.
homework.
They're not locked up. They're not being escorted. See, let me just do the difference between um, Delaney Hall and other places. They're not locked up. They're in pretrial detainment, right? So they're not being escorted with handcuffs, right? Like the
Chained
jail.
up.
They're not being chained up. There may be random searches. Why? Because it is considered a sensitive site. It's a government facility operated by the Department of Homeland Security. So it's not technically you're locked up. It depends on where you're at that you may be considered locked up. But you're not locked up. You have free movement. And I've seen this in the prior, and there's a documentary out about immigration. And there was a documentary that for the first administration had, and the guy was there with National Geographic, and they were walking around. People were outside walking around, chilling.
Right.
Right? It was a little bit of structure and order, but that's what happens when you got 400 or 500 people. You're pre-child detainment and things like that, though. So yeah.
Teresa Osborne said, "I just looked at a resident bathroom that looks like a hotel bathroom."
Thank you, Miss Osborne. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And I don't mind us having a very fruitful discussion, whether we agree or disagree, but the ignorance and the immaturity, we're not doing it on Current Exposure. Patience Roberts, I'm trying not to block the TF out of you, but you're doing too much in the comments. Say what you're gonna say, be informative, know what you're talking about. This is the problem with you and your husband. Nobody comes to support you because of the way y'all behave. You're just as out of control as the people were down at Delaney Hall. What's your mission? What is your mission? Because you're not accomplishing anything right now. Just get out of the comments because you're not even contributing. You're just being a gadfly. You're being a nuisance.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to have a conversation here. They're very ignorant.
Yeah.
And that's why the things that happen to them, nobody comes and vouch for them. And nobody comes to support them out of it. You're not
exposed. What lie are we telling? We're telling perspectives. These are not lies. These are perspectives.
And you know what?
That's factual.
I would bring her on. I would actually bring her on, but I don't have time for her ignorance.
Yeah, and let me just also piggyback, Miss Patrice Roberts. We would bring you on, right? We would bring you on. We don't care about anything like that.
Right.
We will bring you on. You can speak, and we can have a civil discussion. Civil discourse. Civil discourse is the whole purpose of the American democracy. The Democrat, Republican, whatever it may be.
It's hard to sympathize for them.
But what you're saying, sometimes people disagree with how you go about it. I'm totally agree. I'm like, listen.
I want to hear her perspective, but I'm not going to bring.
Even for the Mark Reddick fella, he said, he asked his questions. We're going to get to his questions though too.
Yeah,
but we can agree to disagree. I'm not going to sit and bash him because the fact of, or go on his comment section and tell him, we're just going to agree to disagree.
You're a liar. You're.
I'm the type of person we can agree to disagree. Yeah, but I'm the type of person we can agree to disagree and still go out for a beer.
Right.
It's not that serious. It's really not that serious.
And we're not going to bring her on because she's going to be ignorant and embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
We're really trying to have a discussion here about something that happened in our city. We pay taxes here.
Mm-hmm.
We live here. We really care about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And if people are being mistreated, of course we don't want that to happen, but let's be truthful and factual about it. Like let's go up here to what Mark Reddick said. He said, so because they committed a crime, they are supposed to be treated inhumane.
No,
No, not
no.
at all.
Me and him on the same page. No, but what we're saying is that we don't have enough evidence at the fact that they're being treated inhumane. We have no pictures, no nothing. So I think that the governor, what she should have done, rather than show up down there and embolden a lot of the behavior when she got denied, what it should have been was, hey, could we have a mutual agreement, right, between us and the federal government? We'll do this if we can just have a camera go through the area. Right. Or we'll have
Exactly.
our correctional people come in to see, hey, is this meeting our standards, right? Or is it either meeting our standards or exceeding our standards, right? Or saying, hey, can we do something like that? It should have been an agreement rather than I'm coming down there for a camera show. Because once she went
Thank you.
down
The
there and
stage
imposed
production.
the bad behavior, it really set the tone. And then she came around and used the state police, which I kind of disagree with. There should have been a different approach, right? People could have been out there, but I think that they could have pushed them back. Yeah, they pushed them back, but the tear gas and all that other good stuff. No, I think that the diversionary devices, aka flashbangs, could have been used. I think that more OC, but just blatantly throwing tear gas out. I'm against tear gas. I think pepper spray could have been used because it's purposeful. If you know who you're spraying, you're gonna spray them. You're gonna tab them up, whatever. Grab and go. Either grab how they were before and things like that. But I don't like the. I just didn't like it. I think that it could have been much more differently, right? I think that
Right.
if the governor would have been more strategic and understanding, like I told Shakima, the power of her influence,
Yeah.
specifically a
Yeah.
Democrat power and influence of doing certain things and how they handle business.
Yes.
And she should have learned that, and she should have known that based off of the MacGyver situation. What she
Yep.
should have done was sit, talk, ask, hey, what's going on? Let's have this conversation. And if we have this conversation, we're gonna be good. Let's work something out. Even if I can't visit, can I have a trusted? Can we have a task force of these amount of people, Congress people go in and visit along with two of my people, and two of your people can be with them, and we can just work something out. There could have been a compromise there
Right.
rather than
Right.
just showing up. And
And
especially she should know. And here's my thing: people not understanding. She should know better. Why? Because she was a former federal prosecutor. Right?
thank you.
Understand that. That forget the congresswoman. She was a federal prosecutor, so she has knowledge, abilities, and skills to understand the intricacies and very intimately knows of that and how the federal government moves, specifically when it comes to pretrial detainment and detainment. And when you're a criminal defense attorney, you do specifically for the federal government, you have a wide range of cases that they do. So they're going to visit those facilities. They visit those facilities. They see defendants. They see
Right.
there's cooperating witnesses and things like that. So let's not sit and act like she was so oblivious. Like, let's just say Newark would know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it, it's she should have known better for what she was doing. So
I agree.
what I'm saying is that
I
she should have took a step back, look, all right, this is kind of getting out of control. And what she should have did was release a statement, right? And what should have happened was, okay, a public thing and saying, hey, we want to work with you. To all the protesters, we want you guys to be safe, but you got to stop doing this. You got to stop doing this. I think there should have been that.
go to the area that
Yeah,
they had the area, a
across the
nice
street.
area set up for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they were blocking the road still. They were letting them be in the road, interrupting commerce. And that's the part where I think people we need to get more knowledgeable, because those are things that I understand, you understand, but our general community, they don't understand how commerce is affected. They don't understand the fact that her being a former prosecutor, and her being in an influential position as a Democrat, um, they like this is where people need to get more educated and do your research to understand these things.
Mm-hmm.
And and also going back to the governor, for me, it was like I felt like what one of the critics said. She solved a problem that she created.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning, she should have, like you said, she should have issued a statement or went down there and said, all right, we're gonna check and see what's going on. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna make sure these claims are not true about all these people going through all this stuff, because we know people can exaggerate when they want their way. Because my thing is, how are they eating the same food that they were claiming to be eating in the Green Monster, but yet the people in the Green Monster, they're still eating that food while they were moved out and taken to a
Exactly.
detainment center.
Exactly. And also to add in there, we understand the predicament, and I understand from a law enforcement perspective, right? Why you have officers did what they did, right? Because and I'm not talking
People
about
weren't listening. They weren't
I'm talking
following
about
directions.
ICE. The ICE was everything was
Oh,
cool. Everything was cool. Even when they even had that little scuffle outside with MacGyver, it still was. I thought it was going to be up and up then. I'm like, oh wow, it's gonna be some shit. Excuse my French, but and then now to see you had people coming in with makeshift shields.
yeah, makeshift out of trash
Professional. This
cans.
is professional. These are professional.
Yeah,
These are professional protesters coming to the city of Newark. My thing is, if you're gonna protest like that, protest on Summer Ave and what you call that, Broadway. Go
right,
protest on Avon and Mapes. Go protest
right.
them guys off the corner.
Avon and
It's
10th. How about that?
selective because you know
Right,
that the federal government not going to do what the people on Avon and Jelliff and Avon and Bergen and
right.
Avon
Clinton Avenue, Clinton
and
Avenue in
Have
Seaport.
and all that going to do. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Oh, wait. Remember, they did go to Clinton Avenue in Seymour and they got ran up out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's my thing though. You can sit it's selective, right?
Yeah,
Once again, their fight is coming from their fight for justice and equity comes at the forefront of their white privilege. It comes from the white privilege. Us black folks couldn't do that. Throw rocks and we're not doing that.
set fires. And this is the thing that got me when I went down there Friday. They were passing out gas masks. Like you said, these are professionals. And I'm like, what is that for? And the lady, she's like, oh yeah, this is for later on tonight. And I said, are you guys planning on getting sprayed or something? She was like, oh yeah, yeah. And you gotta protect your eyes too. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh nah, this is not for me. Let me skedaddle before all of that goes down. She started laughing. She was like, I hear you. Yeah, like y'all about to me, I'm like, they're about to get into some stuff.
They had an encampment. My thing is we can have
That
an
was the headquarters. That was
they actually had a full
they had headquarters.
a camp. No. I'm talking about like a 20-foot by 30-foot.
I was there. I seen it.
And we can't get one.
Supplies.
Pass out food. We can pass out gas masks, but we can't pass out food for the children, the black children in the city of Newark, the black and brown children, black and brown that are from here. We can't give other things like that. But you're willing to cause dysfunction.
About to go to war. They were ready for war.
Cause dysfunction.
They were ready for war.
Yo.
Because when the governor went down there, first they already had it in their mind from the congresswoman that they were at war. Then when the governor said it, like she didn't say that per se, she implied, she continued the energy from the we're at war situation, throwing the bows. When she said, oh, they went and let me in, that got people, that incited people.
Incited.
And they went wild. Oh, they won't let the governor in. And then Mayor Raz was arrested. They kidnapped the black mayor. Oh my, we got to get over there. And they turned Delaney Hall raw. They turned it into a battleground for nothing that has anything to do with the people.
And they're not even from Newark. My thing is, we needed that issue. Where were you at during the water crisis?
Yep.
Where were you at during the service last line? They said I went down this morning, it was a bunch of bullshit. It is a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of people who really just want to get their name out there. I want to be an activist. What the fuck are you activating by being this activist? The only thing you activated was the state police coming down there and showing you what the fuck type time you on.
Exactly. And we're gonna get into how they did, because we talked about they could have did better. Ms. Parker says all immigrants are not criminal as portrayed. Okay, we agree with that. All people that are incarcerated in the Green Monster are not guilty. The political prostitutes are photo ops at every event. Roundtree voted on project against the community to take her ass to Delaney Hall. And Lauren Adelsky said, this is crazy. And then Queen says, meanwhile, these kids are damn near about to kill each other. Yeah, where the protests? Where the protests for that? And Jose Cruz said, my question is, why don't they go to the county jails? You got worse. M's sleep in county jail on a Green Monster for 24 hours, more in 72 hours. And they don't care about them people in the county jail. They don't care about no blacks. When you see this the first time in so many years, this conquest, they say black people matter, but a bit of care about no blacks. But good look, county jail is next to the length, and then they will be to the county to see how black people black people in Puerto Rican, I can't see the rest, but I hear what you're saying. And Jay Maine said if Delaney Hall was in Caldwell, there probably would be no political grandstanding. And Quentin Ford says Delaney Hall is ground zero for the local Democratic Party to wage war on Trump. The losers are the Newark residents. Now, this I agree with 100%. The Newark residents are the losers.
Yep, we losing.
we lost. We lost. We absolutely lost. And Queen said, my brother and a lot of other people have been killed in those jails and they have done nothing. And that's my point. Like, okay, yeah, protest for the people who are not criminals, and they didn't break the law. Protest for them. I'm with it, but don't be selective about it. And be consistent. If you say Black Lives Matter, be consistent about it. Otherwise, it's all for show.
Yep.
It's all a stage production. And we don't need that. We got more important things and priorities to take care of.
Yep.
Ms. Parker said, why didn't Raz bully crew go to address the Proud Boys?
Because the Proud Boys the Proud Boys are known to have firearms, and legal firearms at that.
Not only that,
and a lot of them are cops.
Right, okay. I hear what you're saying, but not only that, but that goes back to the privilege.
Yeah.
That goes back to the privilege that you will think twice before addressing them. And the way that they were treated with kid gloves. And you got Newark residents whose First Amendment rights are violated in the city hall. People who are still banned, people who have gotten banned, people who have had the Newark police weaponized against them because somebody didn't like what they were saying at the podium.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? I said, oh my gosh, that's what I got up out of this. The White House said this will become a movie. It was like a movie. It was like a movie. Queen says there are people in the streets that eat out of the garbage. What are we doing about them? You can't feed them. You'll get a fine, Queen. You'll get a fine. You know, maybe you should go get some of those people, those out of towners, and set up a headquarters because they won't say nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
They had that tent set up for a while. And also, let's get to the fact that because the street was shut down, it interrupted people from getting visits at the Green Monster.
Yep.
How about that? You can't get your visit because all the mayhem and chaos happening outside that has nothing to do with you, and it's not even about you. You can't get your visits, and then the people can't get released. You can't release people into a chaotic protest from the jail. So now you got to stay a little longer in the Green Monster?
Because it's on lockdown. So
exactly. Let's talk about that.
That also disproportionately affected African-American minorities. It disproportionately affected them because those are the ones that are leaving from jail.
How about that? How about that?
That's the part. That's really good, kid. Because I literally was thinking about that. I'm like, damn, I should say that. But I'm like, nah. But then you just actually brought it up, like literally as I'm, doing what I got to do. Yo, that was good.
I was there. I felt it. I felt it. I said, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They really don't care about us. And look, they shut their tablets down. So now they can't even entertain themselves while on lockdown. The tablets are down. Oh, and also I heard the phones were down as well. Mm-hmm. Can't even talk on the phone. How is that fair? How is that fair? And then Miss Snowden says, yep, at school board meetings, we get our cars towed illegally, but they want them out. Why they don't go make money with the agitators? Yeah, go start writing some tickets. Mm-hmm. They got money. From what they had set up, the supplies they had, oh my gosh, they had cases and cases of Poland Spring water. They had another water brand. I can't remember that. They had so much stuff. It was like a mini Walmart. They had the boxes of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts because they were all jacked up on the caffeine. I guess, once the sun dropped and it got dark, the caffeine withdrawal started kicking in. And maybe that's why they were acting buck wild and crazy too. They had stacks and stacks of Bounty tissue. And I'm wondering who got the porta potties out there for them, because they only had 2 portable bathrooms on Wednesday. On Friday, there were 6 portable bathrooms out there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but those cost money. Who paid for those?
They had portable bathrooms.
Yeah, then they had this makeshift shower. And I asked the lady, I said, are y'all sleeping out here too? Oh, yeah, we're doing whatever we got to do.
For people, wait a minute. And we couldn't get that same energy for the people that are in the county?
Nope.
Oh, well, by you getting in the shower, you're going to delay somebody's going home to their family who is just acquitted for another 45 minutes up to an hour. Mm-hmm. That's some BS. Mm-hmm. That's some BS. That's some BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me excuse myself real quick. I'm still be on.
All right. Felicia said I couldn't even think about going there unless We're going down there to rally over the slumlords. Queen says our babies eat the same lunch from that company as the jail. Wow. Wow. Let's see. Okay, Jose, I can't see your whole message. It cuts off at a certain point. Let me see if I can read it. Hold on from this angle. Oh yeah. Let me go to Teresa Osborne about the headquarters. I called it the headquarters. It looked like a mini White House. Teresa said it's a whole nasty, dirty, filthy encampment on Orange Street. I need the protesters to make noise there. Oh, they're not going there, depending on who it is. Queen said the 1% is highly involved. They save up money for their movement. All right, Jose, let's see. It says my question is, okay, I know you were reading my story. Why didn't Okay. Okay, they said Obama opened Delaney Hall, but the problem is why we're fighting so much for immigrants. It didn't take care of the street and whether black people getting killed in the neighborhood, getting shot every day, homeless, and the county is worse. They're doing nothing. Okay.
Well,
Tried to
and
read that
also,
the best I could.
yeah, and also just to add in there, Barack Obama was known as the porter in chief.
Eden
He
said
was
he could
known,
go for
yeah,
hours on this.
yeah, but Barack Obama was known as the deporter in chief of the United States during his time as president, right? And he actually, well, once again, he was saying, "Oh, the cages and all that, the cages." He didn't. Trump didn't create the cages. Obama created those cages.
And why did they make? Well, it was a gate, and then they people started calling it cages.
Yeah, it's gates, but it was natural gates. It was controlling entrance and access points. You had armed guards on the other side, and when you have somebody quote unquote detained, you're not allowed to have your weapon. So that also kept it, at bay for them not to grab or ascertain the officer's weapons. So I'm not understanding. When we talk about immigration, he has yet to even give a public apology about it. Well, I didn't know what I did or what I had. He stood by it. He stood 10 toes by it.
And that's my thing. That's my thing. If you're going to stand on it, all right, tell us why. All right, and if it makes sense.
Could you go to this comment right here?
By Nicole Keisha?
Yes, I love it. It says, my problem is protesters attacking the workers. Yes.
Thank you.
Predominantly African-American workers. Once again, they're protesting black workers. So we're not allowed to work anymore. It says protest peacefully. They are changing the narrative on what's going on there. They are.
Let's dig into that. Let's dig into that part. Impeding the workflow of the black truck drivers in that area.
Not even just the truck drivers, but the employees that actually work there.
They attacked them too. So
because
I guess
majority of the people that work there are black.
Exactly. And you know what they called them? They called them class traders. So they're supposed to not work and rely on welfare that has a time limit.
Yep.
Once again, who ends up on the losing end of this? You getting called a traitor and all of this because that was your only means or an opportunity to have a means for you to feed your family and take care of yourself so you don't be out here begging for money or homeless or depending on a government that does not really help you stand on your 2 feet. Look at this. Throwing coffee on them, breaking their windows, calling people out their name. How much better are you from the MAGA people?
Yep.
They're actually mirror images of each other. Mirror images. Who could be the most extreme in their ideology?
Yep. Oh,
That's why I called it mayo versus sour cream.
talk about it.
Because that's what it was. And it's like, this makes no sense. And Miss Osborne is saying also the workers should not be talking to the protesters. It's against geo policy.
Mm-mm-mm.
And Nicole Keisha said she knows this for a fact, and they were targeting them. And remember, when it was Delaney Hall, it was good enough when the black people were detained there,
Exactly.
and it was good enough for those black employees to work there at that time.
Mm-hmm. But I tell you, talk about
But
it.
now you're a class trader. You get coffee thrown on you. The 20 boxes of Joe they got out there, all jacked up on it, hitting their caffeine crash, setting tires on fire, setting off fireworks.
Yeah.
Singing "We Shall Overcome," and then all of a sudden, F the ice. How you remix Dr. King's song like that? Why do they feel the audacity to have done once again, very influential governor. She top of the line influential.
Yep.
She was a pilot, a lady flying helicopter pilots.
But that's hard alone. That going to becoming a Navy pilot, then a federal prosecutor.
Exactly.
To go to law school, and then become a congresswoman, and then become governor. She's emboldened.
Top level one influential, whether you want to be or not. And you tell the people they won't let you in and this and that when there's a better way that we could go about this. Now you incited the crazies. And then that was the other thing. There were mentally ill people involved in this protest from outside of Newark. That was the other part. I'm like, oh my gosh. They have any and everybody in here. I mean, that made me feel like you got to be a little bit more mindful about who you're protesting with.
Yep.
You know? But, yeah. Nicole Keisha says, I saw a video of a white lady saying, let those black and brown people go. You don't even know what you're protesting. Exactly. A lot of them didn't. When I asked some of them, don't you know across this parking lot is a jail that have black bodies and brown bodies in there, and some of them aren't innocent, but they can't afford an attorney. Somebody could have lied on some of them, because that was my experience. And probable cause has to play out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to jail, whether you want to or not, whether you're innocent. You gotta do those 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and that's the impact of bail reform. Now, if we still had bail bonds, people, I would have never have gone in there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of other innocent people wouldn't have to do that. And then after you do the 3 days and you're innocent, you got to go through this whole process and psychological BS where you're on pretrial services, where you got to call in And if you don't
No
call
parole.
in,
Probation. That's what I call a de facto probation.
right, right, right. You gotta let them know where you are when you call to, and come on now. And Nicole Keisha says she don't see them in Elizabeth. Right. They had a group of them that laid down because they didn't want some type of arms or weaponry to go overseas to be used for Israel or whatever the situation was. They laid down on the ground and they all got arrested though. They laid down so that the trucks couldn't move back and forth. And Queen said, "Did you peep the white guy that asked who was I this morning? Who was he, Queen? Was he even from here? How about, yeah, one of them came up to me. She was so aggressive. And I'm like, simmer down. You're mad aggressive. She's like, I thought you were one of them. And I was like, one of who? Because however I'm going to get treated like I'm black. So I'm going to get treated like I'm one of the blacks.
Yep.
So who is them? What are you talking about? And how dare you come up to me with that nonsense? Think I'm gonna just be jumping on bandwagons without getting all of my information?
I had to read some of the comments through my phone, but yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's go back to Queen asks, why was the Newark Water Coalition there? I don't know. Maybe some of those
They
people
hijacked
came.
everything else. Jack and our culture. Yeah, I think you were talking about the governor.
Yes. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, so yeah, Felicia sent me a picture where in 2018 a protester came to City Hall to protest ICE. May 2018. That's how they have been out there for a minute, but what has happened and become of it now is like it's ruined. Yeah, and then we don't even know what the people did who are in there. People are saying they did nothing. Okay, now I need to see proof. Because I'm not even going to say I felt like, wow, that's messed up. They're locking people up. But now as this has gone on and on, I'm starting to think critically. What did the people do? Why are they in there? Why is probable cause good enough for black people until they find out you're innocent and not for this group of people? And why aren't the people coming out to protest and support, why aren't they sponsoring them to be citizens of the United States? Why aren't they setting up programs in the communities that these protesters live in to bring immigration into their community and help these people get citizenship?
Hey, so just to add it in there, right? I had to look up the statute. It says 8 USC subsection 1325, entering or attempting to enter the U.S. without inspection is a federal misdemeanor. Or unlawful or illegal reentry is the same subsection, but the second paragraph is 1326. Reentering and things like that. And it is after you've been deported the first time, prior deportation is a felony carrying a sentence up to 2 years imprisonment, and then you also automatically qualify for another deportation. So if you have people that come in and they're already deported, if they come back in, it is considered a felony charge. That's why some of them, it's probably there. A lot of them do come in and they get arrested and it becomes a felony charge. They got to know. The ICE has to know. That's what I mean by they. ICE has to know because it then becomes a felony charge, and that's what gets them arrested. And that's how they use that as a loophole. Charge them with that. So now, say if you get charged, right? You get charged, Shakima. Let's just say you're an undocumented migrant, right?
Okay.
He's undocumented. We stop you, we get you, whatever happens, right? We deport you. Despite you spend all this money coming back here rather than getting a visa and doing everything you're supposed to do, right? You come back, you do an unlawful entry, you get arrested. We find out, we can automatically put charges on you now, right? We can
felony
charges now, federal felony charges, and then boom, we get you a federal felony charge. Now, even though the agreement is, or the statute says, the sanctuary cities, but they're not allowed to not call immigration when or not cooperate on a federal felony, right? So doesn't matter what it is.
You can't pick and choose.
You have to know now because that's the loophole that they created because of the sanctuary cities. So now when you charge on that federal charge, the city has to call and say, hey, do you want him? Not he's undocumented. Hey, do you want him?
And that's now that's why the protesters are mad.
Yes, that's why they're getting more and more people. Because explain to some of our viewers, that's really another thing that's happening right there. Right. And
that's what Teresa Osborne is kind of on the same page with you. She's saying she believes some of these people are not the worst of the worst, just illegals. Yes, some of them are there for crimes and some just for being here. Ask them to trade places with some of the homeless out here. Mm-hmm. But she's pretty much saying what you said with the loophole.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what's happening. And a lot of people are not really educated about that.
Exactly. And certain things are felonies that you wouldn't believe was a felony.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way the laws are written.
There are 5,000 plus federal charges, criminal charges. It is illegal to bring a buffer fish across state lines. Mm-hmm. People don't know that. It is a federal felony or a federal offense. Let's just say a federal offense to bring a buffer fish across state lines without going through proper channels.
Right. So somebody will do it, right? And then they'll have a protest and rally. Oh, we didn't know, but it's like that's the law.
And there's certain things that people
for a reason.
Yeah, a lot of people may not be educated with certain things happen in airports. Some of it may be considered federal because it's a federal controlled or regulated, so regulated that it may be certain things may be federal, right? Like once you get on the aircraft, once that door cabin closes, you get into a fight. That's a federal. It's going to be invested by the FBI, but they may not take it. They may like the locals take it, but technically, the feds, right? So a lot of people don't know that though.
And let's even talk about protesting.
Yeah, so the protests, when we saw
unlawful protests, let's talk about the law with that.
Yeah, but
when you're protesting, it's a risk.
I know they definitely hit the obstruction, right?
Yeah,
fighting a riot.
Right. Let's talk about all the charges. If we would have did that, what we would have got. We would have got an unlawful protest.
Yeah.
We would have got what is it when you're blocking the sidewalk for passage?
Hindering. Oh, not hindering. No. It's not hindering. It's right there, tip of my tongue. Impeding a public passage.
Yeah, impeding public passage.
So the riot or inciting a riot, I believe is 2C:33-1.
Inciting a riot. Yep.
That's a 4th degree, or it can go upwards. And then impeding public passage. What else? And also, and if you refuse or you fail to cooperate, 2C:29 -1 for obstruction of administration in government.
Right. Basically, like Felicia said, we would be under Delaney Hall.
Exactly.
Oh, and what would we get for setting a tire on fire
Yeah.
and throwing stuff
That's
at the
criminal
police?
mischief.
All right,
Criminal
criminal
mischief and
mischief. What
starting
about the
arson.
aggravated assault?
Yeah, it would have been arson. It would have been criminal mischief,
Arson.
arson. Um, the aggravated assault 2C semicolon 29 dash
Would have got the aggravated assault.
12. No. 2C semicolon 12. That's a 12 statute. 2C semicolon 12 dash I think 1B, which was aggravated assault a police officer and his assaulting a police officer on his or her performance of duties. I'm not that familiar with New Jersey law anymore.
Wait, Eden says they would have threw the book.
Yeah, they would have threw the book. The whole
It's the death. Right.
It would have been instant. It would have been an instant death.
Right. They would have shot people. They would have just.
You know what? The crazy thing is, I kept a lot of, and I didn't know this right until afterwards. Me and O'Hara had a conversation. He said, "Yeah, you kept a lot of people from getting arrested." I said, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah," because the Newark Water Coalition people wanted to do a lot more.
Verbal terroristic threats. We got the terroristic threats.
Yeah. Yeah, disordinary conduct, but but the riot statute would have incorporated that right there. Littering, but the littering as well. Yeah, littering. They could have gave you a ticket for littering. Yeah.
You know what? You know what's like funny is that we really know this stuff because we as Black people have to know what we can and can't do.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cuss you out, but I'm gonna cuss you out that bad.
Right.
I'm gonna say fuck the police, but I'm gonna say fuck you while you committing your actions as a police officer, not specifically.
They put They put kill ICE and kill cops on the wall.
That was a no, especially with Newark and the recent death of that. You know of what happened. Like you're talking about killing cops. That's
yeah, loitering. That headquarters would have got that loitering charge.
Mm-hmm.
And pass it out when they were passing out the gas mask.
Yeah, I think that's another statute too. I forgot what that was, but I think
what is it? Conspiracy too. Yeah,
it's really hard to get conspiracy. It's really hard getting conspiracy.
Man. O'Hara, my God. Okay.
Yeah, O'Hara. You're everybody there. And wait, hold up. He said the people that were arrested. I said you're not even from Newark. I said exactly. I said everybody from Newark. He said the people that were arrested wasn't even from Newark. I said yeah, and that's the whole purpose why I was trying to keep everything calm because I didn't want them to do certain things. That's why I stood up right there in front of everybody, like hold up, we can't be acting crazy, acting like no fool.
Right. And see, people don't even understand the background of the relationship with the Newark police and that why the Newark Water situation, the Newark Water protest was able to be pulled off. The level of cooperation that you guys didn't understand.
Yeah, and the level of because remember he came to me, he didn't go to them.
Exactly.
He walked up to me and said, exactly. Hey, what's going on? You know.
Whatever. Oh, wait, we still got another charge, assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, when
they made their little shields. And then you saw the North Spider-Man.
They could have technically kind of hit him with ag assault while pushing the gate against the officers because once they push that gate, they put that gate in motion to touch the officer, which can be said to be used as a weapon. So they technically could do that, but I don't believe the officers even filed for those charges yet.
Right? They let them go.
I mean, they can say that, but they can have U.S. Marshals outside your house.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's see if we hear some stories later on. Eden Rivera said, while the police is at Delaney, they are not in our communities. That put us at such a high risk, knowing what happens as it tends to get warm in Newark.
Yep.
We didn't have any police. It could have got real if those criminally minded type of people wanted to do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
We were vulnerable. Call the police. They're at Delaney Hall.
Yeah, because
And,
there was, from my understandings, not too much, but from my understandings, they were pretty stretched thin, and it, like I said, it caught a lot of people off guard. There was no really anticipation around this,
right.
and the
The
mutual aid had to be
response.
given. Once again, just to tell people, you have the Newark is the busiest city when it comes to municipal call volume in pretty much in the state of New Jersey, and what I believe, based off our population to officer ratio, probably within the East Coast. Not only for that though, our county sheriff's department is not a full service agency. They do not respond to calls of service. They are pretty much a protective operations when it comes to county facilities, properties, and parks. So they're not
Right.
really technically a full service agency. So at any given time, you may have, outside of the working hour of the courts, may have 10 to 12 active sheriff officers patrolling
Mm-hmm.
the entire
Mm-hmm.
Essex County, which one sheriff officer is technically responsible per the patrol districts, and how they break it down is one officer is technically responsible for the city of Newark, the entire city,
Right.
when it comes to that. Furthermore, our state police, their job, they're a full service agency along with the highway patrol regiment. So their job is to maintain highway patrol and to provide law enforcement services to unincorporated areas that don't really fall in the purview of the county, right?
Right.
So, and outside of that, we do have 24 other law enforcement agencies that operate within the city of Newark, none of which really deal with the day-to-day call. You have Federal Protective Services, you have Veteran Affairs Police, you have those you
Right.
may see postal police, you may see, but their job is to stay at those facilities, along
Right.
with many other agencies that a lot of people haven't heard about. One of which Human Services Police. Their job is to deal with the mental health hospitals, and work close with DCFS.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
different other areas. So Newark, not to say they were not prepared. Newark was thrown off guard because once again, you have the busy highest call volume, right? And you're not really ready
And it
for a
was a
civil
weekend.
unrest. You're not really ready for a civil unrest because yes, you may have manpower, but you also have to have officers in certain grids for certain purposes, right? Shooting protocols, anti-robbery, whatever, crime suppression units, for certain reasons. So for just to educate people, not Newark just wasn't. Let's just say they wasn't not prepared. They wasn't expecting that based off of their patrol,
But
metrics or whatever.
that's the same as not prepared when you're
Uh,
not expecting it.
yeah, true. Let's just say they're not. That's
Yeah,
really
I
not
don't
something
think
that
they
happens.
had the resources to
Yeah,
do to
they have
address it.
the resources, but that's really not something in their wheelhouse because you don't deal with riots often. You don't deal with riots, and then when the police do show up, that people usually disperse. So it's more about the intimidation of that, though. I will say that though. But
Okay.
you can go ahead into the comments though.
Okay. Eden says because it's Newark, it's our tax dollars funding it.
Yeah.
And Felicia said it's cannibalistic behavior and assault or attempted bodily harm act. That has to be more than LaMonica charges.
No, LaMonica charges, those are the same thing. Same kind of charges. It
Oh,
may
so she
differ.
got people that
She got
got
two
the
charges.
same. Wait, she got twin charges now? People got twin charges with her?
Yeah, so she
Wow.
it's a
So
felony
she's taking
charge.
people with her.
She was throwing elbows. I mean, all honesty, if I was a prosecutor in that case, like I said before, depending on her record, I may do probation, probably a 5-year probation. If she pleads guilty, a 5-year probation, possible 6 months in jail. That's that. I mean, depends.
At the
Um,
Green Monster.
um, maybe no. If she do 6 months, that won't be at the Green Monster. That'll probably
No,
be at.
I know, I'm
She'll be with
joking.
Diddy. She'll be
I
with
know,
Diddy.
I'm joking.
No,
But
she'll be down there with
but
Diddy.
Diddy said it was all right.
Yeah, no, the federal, no. I've seen a federal jail. The federal jails are very clean. They're actually much more cleaner than the Green Monster. I was very surprised how clean it was. Just to say that.
Look, Felicia said she's taking people with her. Yeah, she gonna have a crew.
Oh yeah, she'll have it too. You'll be like, who you? I'm a Monica. I was elbowing ICE agents. Why was you elbowing? Because I thought I was white because I was a congresswoman. Mm-hmm. Nigga, you going to jail. You going to jail. Hava was like, "Oh, you can put her in cuffs." Yeah, had that conversation with her. I would listen. I would have.
Yo, she was like, she did the signal.
Yeah. No. But I would have been throwing elbows, and you would have seen me right in Hava office, all innocent. I don't know what took over me. I was hungry.
Right. Hangry. I was hangry.
Yeah, I'm over here. I was just trying to swim up out, and that elbow hit him. My bad. I'm sorry.
I write a letter. Look, I would have been delivering a speech. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. Look, I got a comment right here. Right. I got a comment right here. So George Mattis, he said she'll get less time. That pregnant, and I told Kiki that pregnancy was strategic. That was strategic. Yeah, she can have a baby. I mean, like I said, she may get probation. She may get 5 years probation. Depends on what's the mandatory minimum. She may get probation. Yeah, she just may get. I hope she get probation. I hope they drop it. You know, I don't want her to go to jail. You know,
I don't think they dropping it now at this point. Because they gotta drop the buddies that's going.
Yeah, they're gonna have to drop all of them. Well, prosecutors technically have wide discretion. They have more discretion than judges, right? The judge didn't like it, well, because he was a former Essex County prosecutor and he's a former, fellow Democrat himself. But I think that was stupid for her to do that, though. Yeah. Yeah, I would have been strategic. Like I would have been sitting there like, "Hey, how girl? You got your hair tied?
Ooh, girl,
your office nice."
I gotta get this chair in my office.
I would have bought her some Chateau Spain. You know, everybody think they fancy Chateau Spain.
I would have sent her an edible arrangement.
Right.
Oh no, she looked like she like Gucci. I would have sent her a Gucci scarf.
Hey, how you doing? She kind of did good her first cup. I mean, she was hitting off with them raids and everything. She was doing her thing.
Oh yeah, when she came through, yeah. Shout out to Haba.
Yeah,
they should have did that right. I was so shocked that they messed that up because she would have been pretty good. She would have been good.
What the judges did was 100% legal. Right. I will have to side with the judges.
Right, I agree.
100% correct in their analysis of the law and how they applied. They were 100% correct. If you look at the law, you just look at all.
Yeah, they enforced the law. They definitely enforced the law.
It wasn't personal. They did what they had to do. It wasn't political. From honest, it was not political.
Felicia says she need to resign and it will probably go away. Nah, it's not. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. It's too late. It's too late. She should have did that apology, like Zaire said.
I would have been there.
Hey, Alina.
Hey, Hava.
I got a cousin named Alina.
I got a cousin named Hava. You know my cousin down the street. Oh man.
I would not be going to jail. Well, federal prison.
I ain't going to prison. Hell to the no. They can keep that.
Joy said he used to like LaMonica McIver until she started bullying the residents, removing them out of the chambers. Yeah, I hope she learned from all of this though, and can give like some insight from her experience to kind of teach the younger people coming up or somebody coming up behind her, these are the things you shouldn't do, and you're in a position of where influence where people are looking at you all the time. And there's a certain expectation too, and a certain decorum you gotta have.
Yeah.
So you can't be the same Jenny from the block. You gotta elevate. You have to elevate. But yeah, this was a good conversation. It was pretty good. What?
You stupid. I'm gonna hurt you. You Jenny from the block. I'm gonna hurt you.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what they call her, but you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, and just to put it out there, we want some people to come on the show. You guys are more than welcome to submit if a conversation, whatever you want to talk about. Shakima will be putting up very soon some some other things that we're going to be doing moving forward. Shakima is
Yes.
a rock star for current exposure.
Yes.
It's good to know that this is a platform that people go to. People, I just want everybody that who has been watching it for like Miss Felicia and all you guys, George, we appreciate you guys. I think Miss Osborne was up here.
Yes.
Yolanda was up here. Eddie Rivera. Um, who else? We just had a lot of people. If I'm not saying your name, please don't get mad. Queen, appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, like I said, if I'm not saying your name, please don't. It's a lot of comments. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here on the show. Um, and I just want y'all to y'all want to come in, do a submission. We'll see what we can do to what you want to talk
Yeah.
about, and we'll be
Direct message me.
yeah, direct message and direct message Shakima, and if whatever y'all want to talk about, we could talk about. Right. This show actually started off. It says I had a good time tonight. I laughed. Yeah, and a
The
lot of
mayo versus sour cream.
yeah, mayo versus sour cream. Um, and I just want people to know that this is a platform that you can come to. So if you have an event coming up, anything like that, let Shakima know, email her directly. We can
Yes.
talk about the event. We can have a conversation about the event. We can get people. And it just can't just be two people. It could be more than two people up here. So we want y'all to come up here
Exactly.
time. So thank you, Shakima, for having me on
You're
tonight.
welcome. Thank you
Again,
for coming on. Thank George too, because South Orange wasn't down there at
yeah,
all.
it was not down
Nobody.
at all.
So George, be proud. None of your neighbors were down there.
Yeah, exactly. None of them was down there.
I made sure because I was like, I know South Orange usually helps us out, and we help South Orange out too with certain things, and none of you guys were down there at all because I think y'all know it
Mm-hmm.
was some nonsense.
Right.
But yeah, thank you all. This has been Current Exposure.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
Yes,
All right.
I
Peace.
appreciate you too. Peace. We're out of here.